When it comes to this ICE situation with ICE shooting a woman, I think what we can learn from this situation is the power of being blameless. God cannot vindicate us when we are not blameless, and Jesus is a great example of this. Jesus was constantly confronted with governmental authority, but Jesus consistently remained blameless, even though the people in the positions of power were wrong all the time. Number one, he paid taxes to Caesar. He said, give to Caesar what is Caesar's and give to God's what is God's. He did not resist arrest, even though he was wrongfully arrested. When it was time for him to be arrested, he didn't rebel. He identified himself. He denounced violence. He told Peter, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. When it was time for his crucifixion, the Roman soldiers mocked him. They beat on him. They spit on him. They gave him a crown of thorns. Jesus didn't fight back. He remained blameless, and he remains vindicated today because he was blameless. God vindicated Joseph because he was blameless. God vindicated David because he was blameless. God vindicated Job because he was blameless. Do you see the pattern? God vindicates the blameless. Ultimately, I think ICE was completely in the wrong. They're overly aggressive, they're overly rude, but because the woman was not blameless, because she did not submit to authority with wisdom, that's why she was not vindicated. God tells us over and over again to remain blameless, because in the acts of being blameless, that's when the Lord will vindicate us.
The body cam footage for the ICE shooting in Minnesota was just released. And I gotta tell you, at this point, anyone who doubts that law enforcement was right in using lethal force, you probably have some issues. Is it unfortunate? Yes, 100%. But does that take away from the right of that agent to defend his life, which now we see was very clearly in danger, on top of the fact that she was being blatantly disrespectful and unworried and unconcerned about any lawful orders that she was given, and her wife was yelling at her, "Drive, baby, drive." There is zero chance that anyone can be left on her side, unless you're not all there. I've tried to be somewhat unbiased. Obviously, I lean conservative in this opinion, but as of right now, that is all out the door. This was 100% justified, no doubt about it, no questions asked. Unfortunate, but it is what it is.
There's the truth, and then there's also the Democrats' version. This is what you're going to see from Democrats right now.
But I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave.
And why did somebody get hurt? It wasn't because they were obstructing justice and then trying to run over ICE agents, now is it? That couldn't have been the real reason. I know that it's second nature and natural for Democrats to lie, to not accept ownership, to not accept accountability. But rather than trying to make ICE agents the villains, the ones who are there doing their job, maybe you should refocus your energy on the residents of your community, telling them to stop harassing ICE agents. That's an idea.
Everyone is not telling the truth about what happened in Minnesota a few days ago, so here's the clean, cut, and dry truth. This woman was impeding a federal investigation with her car, blocking traffic. And when this happened, from every camera angle, yes, if you don't just watch the one that looks like this guy fired a shot for no reason, you do see that the car makes impact with him before he fires that first shot into the windshield. Now, people are outraged over this, and maybe he was a little trigger happy, but it's impossible to judge someone in this situation when it's high intensity and you have a, 1,000-pound vehicle coming towards you, multi-1,000-pound vehicle coming towards you. If this woman simply protested in a different way, a way that wasn't illegal, in a way that wasn't going to get her in this situation, knowing she had 3 kids at home, this would have never happened. This kind of stuff is avoidable. This kind of stuff shouldn't have happened in the first place, and I think everyone is blaming the wrong person.
The reason why that woman passed away in the ICE shooting is because of the left. You guys have put forth this Marvel-esque idea where the good guys always win and there's no consequences. The left believes the entirety of society and civilization is the Stranger Things finale. You can't run away from federal law enforcement, let alone run over federal law enforcement, just because they're the heckin' bad guys. They're the heckin' racist Yahtzees. It doesn't give you the right. And they don't care. So this is a plea, don't do this. You can make stands, you can protest all you want, but you're not invincible just because you're on the right side of history. Life isn't a Marvel movie. You aren't Miles Morales.
Screaming justice for Amber is going to go on deaf ears, man. I've watched every video. I've listened to the audio without any commentary to it. And I've played it time and time again over the last couple days since this happened. And there's no way that you can slice it, but that officer was justified in what he did. Those women had no business out there. Listen, guys, I've done protests. I'm a Christian conservative. We go out all the time. Just a couple months ago, we went to a pride event. We obey the authorities. We obey law enforcement. They take us to jail. Our fight is then with the court. It's not with the officer that's doing his job. These women should have never been out there. Should have never been out there. And her partner, that's not her wife, they say that, but whatever. Her partner needs to be brought up on charges of obstructing as well. You can hear her egging on. Her partner is the one that brought this all into fruition. You can hear her escalating. You can tell her, drive, baby, drive, baby, drive. She sounded like she was enjoying herself. So that lady needs to be brought up on charges. Guys, when we come across this stuff, you just don't watch one video and then go make a video. I know because clicks and views and everything, you want to be the first on the scene. But you need to sit back and collect the evidence, man. And, I've done it, and the police were justified in what they did. It's a sad situation, no matter how you slice it.
It's super fucked up, I think, from my perspective. I watched the video. The guy's definitely in the way of the car, but I just don't think it justifies murdering this woman. Kind of crazy is this is a few streets away from where George Floyd was murdered just a few years ago. And that's really sad for the community and the city of Minnesota and the people who live there. To see this happen and, imagine that, happening outside of your front door. This is just somebody's street. This is, just people. This is a neighborhood where people live. This isn't like a random shooting, at a shopping center by some mass shooter. This is a federal agent, an armed, trained federal agent that is there to expel Somali immigrants. I think that's what the reason that they say they're there is and what their mission is. But this woman was not a Somalian. She was an American citizen, and just I think this kind of force is unnecessary. And I think it's also just related to what we're seeing with Venezuela and the forceful nature of this administration that they're trying to just impose their will on the world apparently and Americans. And it's a power grab, from all points there. And it's the same type of thing that you see here where they're trying to justify the use of force against American citizens. And it's like they're telling you not to believe the evidence that you see with your eyes and ears. That's the most twisted, thing a government can do. That's George Orwell 1984 stuff. That's straight up, propaganda. For Christy Nome to get up there and say this was an act of domestic terrorism. No, it wasn't. The woman wasn't terrorizing anyone. It looked to me like she was somebody tired of the bullshit and was just like, all right, I'm out of here. And they were trying to yank her out of her fucking car. Like, she's probably scared shitless. And whatever happened to, like, a car chase, or like shoot the fucking tire, or like let's get her license plate. We fucking know who she is now. And like, you know what I mean? Like, where's the due process? What made that person, that agent, judge, jury, and executioner to just shoot that woman? I mean, that's this. I don't know. The founding fathers are probably spinning in their graves right now, because I'm seeing a bunch of stuff that's just un-American. It's just government overreach. This is exactly the type of stuff that we raised up arms in the American Revolution against the tyranny of the British, and it's our own government that's doing it to us now. And Congress isn't stopping him or their administration.
There will be no justice for that woman. Only a white woman would pull a stunt like that because, again, people of color know that they won't even be able to speak. They'll pull up in a car like that and they'll get shot without doing anything. So they would never do it. So they sent Whitey out there because they think Whitey won't get shot, okay? Like, white women, white men, I mean, men, I don't know. Men tend to always get brutalized by the cops because they're men, right? But I have that attitude with the cops. I understand their attitude. I do not like authority. You're not my authority. And just because you stick a fucking gun in my face doesn't mean I'm going to back down. I totally get it. It doesn't look like she did anything verbally that was egregious. And I don't get the videos because I've seen all different sides of the videos. So I don't know which is correct. And keep in mind, the media lies daily. So you've got this.
Renee Nicole Good was fatally shot by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement on January 7, 2026. Tributes have poured in for the 37-year-old mother of three. Several protests are ongoing against the operations of ICE in Minneapolis, where the incident happened. The American President Donald Trump, as well as DHS spokesperson, have made claims that the deceased wanted to run an officer over, which has caused outrage in America.
We, the people, need to start taking back this country, and immediately, because they have corrupt, fake-ass people in these placements like ICE that are allowed to be masked, covered, not identify, do whatever the fuck they want.
Okay, we spoke about this in our last video about this, where I said I think a lot of the reason this situation has taken place is because I think people are under this idea that ICE agents are fake. Like, it's just a made up form of law enforcement, that they're not real federal law enforcement, that they're not real agents, that you can come and infringe upon their jobs and their workspace and the different operations that they're putting on, and nothing is going to happen. And you see a lot of people referring to them as masked men, masked strangers, random men. They're federal law enforcement. I keep stressing this in every video that I make about this because people are going around and tracking these ICE agents down, trying to get in the way of the operations that they're doing. And it's not going to end well for you because it's real law enforcement. You can't do that. Let's keep watching.
And murder people without knowing who they're killing, just killing civilians. And Trump's okay with this and is allowing this to happen. And it's now happening all over in the Midwest. This is not okay. What the fuck, America and Americans? How stupid are we to keep allowing this to happen? I say it's time for everybody to start getting guns and start coming out of their houses and start shooting these fucking ICE agents in the head when they start trying to take over people.
Okay. FBI, 911, hello, he's right over here. You can't do this kind of stuff, guys. And I know there are hotheads in response to this. There's a lot of people who are really, really upset. I'm seeing it all over social media. It is not your right to go and infringe upon the operation of federal law enforcement. You cannot go and do this. And to advocate for more violence in the wake of everything that's taken place in this country and has been taking place for a really long time now, it's just such an awful response, okay? And we already have enough people who are trying to track down these ICE agents and get in the way of their work and harm them physically. And that's exactly what was happening when this woman had her life taken. So the last thing we need is more of this. And again, like, even a statement like this, hello? FBI. And we see as the temperature is rising and rising and rising in response to this, nobody's coming and calmly saying, hey, maybe we stay out of the way of federal law enforcement operations. Maybe it is not your job as a citizen in this country to get in the way of everything that they're trying to do. If you want to change the laws in this country, change the laws in this country, okay? And advocate for that and fight for it and organize around that. But do not go park your car in the middle of the street trying to block ICE agents from being able to do their job. And when they tell you to get out of the car, drive your car forward into them, because it is the natural result that you end up being shot and you lose your life. And that's unfortunate, but the entire situation could have been avoided by, first of all, not showing up in the first place to get in the way of their operation, but secondly, complying with the directive that they gave you.
Oh man, that sums it up. That Minneapolis shooting with Renee Nicole Good, oh my God. You know what? On one hand, you could totally be like, you know what? She shouldn't have been out there. She should have blah, 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 blah. Honestly, we have to really be honest with a lot of things, and that's you're supposed to comply with law enforcement. We all know that. How about decades of watching horrible videos of people not complying with law enforcement? But on the other hand, did he really have to do that? Did he really have to take multiple shots at her? The way they were saying that he was in front, no, he wasn't standing in front. I really don't think that she was really, she made a wrong decision. Definitely can say she made the wrong. You could say, you know what, she made a really bad decision. Absolutely. But he did a really bad thing. He didn't have to go so excess by doing that from the side. When they were telling the story, I think I was told that he was in front of I just saw the video and I'm like, why didn't he shoot the tires? This is bad, 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 bad. Ooh, bad, bad. And you want to know something, people? She made a huge mistake, but listen, cops pull you over, cops tell you to put your hands up, do that, you just do it. You don't listen, you get into a fight with the cops, I promise you, you're gonna lose.